A very good morning to all of you. Yet another new academic year, that means yet another new, fresh beginning for all of us. I know this academic year is not starting the perfect way it used to be amid the crisis that we are all facing. But I, for one, strongly believe that every crisis presents an opportunity, especially an opportunity to change. We need to understand why we are in this crisis. And I feel this academic year, the purpose of education should focus on how to get out of this crisis and what we as individuals can do to contribute for the betterment of the humanity and the planet. Which is why today I would like to talk about a few things which are not generally talked about. But I feel, and this is where these things are something that education should focus upon more. For that, we need to understand how we got here and why we should take the change that is required. This pandemic, or for that matter, the increasing disasters like cyclones or floods or droughts for that matter, we all know is because of climate change. We can never deny the fact that this pandemic and climate change has a connection. So, what are we going to do as individuals to contribute to climate change? We always consider that climate change is something that is not in my hands to do something about. It is not my responsibility and it is not my mistake that climate change is happening. Somebody else has to do something and we are waiting for somebody else to do something. But let me tell you that unless each and every one of us as individual, as a community, as a people, each and every one of us decide to change and adopt change, I don't think we can reverse this. Yes, this is a global problem, but the globe, the world, is constituted by 7.5 billion individuals. So, individual responsibility and individual action is very, very important. In order to understand what an individual can do, what an individual can make a difference, I'm going to say a small story what about how an individual can make a difference. The story goes like this. There is this really beautiful beach, a very long beach, in which, there was a strange natural phenomenon because of which lot of starfishes, particularly young baby starfishes, were thrown out of the sea. And because of the scorching sun, these starfishes were dying every day in millions of numbers. So they are not able to get back to the sea, and on the land, the sun is scorching them to death. So there was this little girl who used to spend time almost every day throwing back these starfishes. Among those million starfishes, every day she was able to throw back, say, 400s or 500s. So there was this man who used to go on the beach for a walk and he used to watch this little girl every day. And she used to be all by herself and she'll be throwing these starfishes diligently and sincerely. So this man got very curious. So he walked up to the girl and he asked her, "My dear little girl, I don't know what you're doing here every day. There are millions of starfishes strewn around here. What difference can you make in throwing just 400s and 500s?" So the little girl replied to the man with much more wisdom than any grown up person. She says, "To that starfish, I make a huge difference. To every single starfish I throw back into the sea, I'm saving that starfish's life. And to that starfish, I'm making a huge difference." So the man was taken aback and he also joins the little girl. And slowly, the entire community comes and gets to work in throwing back the starfishes, and many starfish lives were changed. See, this is the power of an individual action. And this is what is required to protect our nature. So I feel the purpose of education is to teach our children on how to become leaders by themselves, how to become change agents by themselves, take up initiative instead of complaining. Take up responsibility instead of passing the buck to someone else. Take up the change we wish to see in the world. Remember Gandhiji's words, be the change you wish to see in the world. Every change that we want to see in the world begins from us, from me as an individual. So, individual change and responsibility is very important. That is the message I would like to say. Let us bring up a generation that doesn't run behind materialistic possessions or power and fame as part of success, but let us redefine success in such a manner that success is about protecting nature, allowing every human being and enabling and helping every human being to become a full individual and realize their potential to be a successful person. So, thanks a lot, my dear parents, children, and teachers. Have a wonderful academic year and let us be the change we wish to see in the world.